as old as time, song as old as rhyme, Beauty and the Beast. Tale as old as time, true as it can be. Barely even friends, then somebody bends unexpectedly. Just a little change, small to say the least, both a little scared, neither one prepared. Beauty and the...
I was reading this book called A Billion Wicked Thoughts. It was written by a bunch of engineers at Google, and they were looking at pornographic search processes. What they found was that the males searched out images, the females searched out literary representations of pornography. It was written. They discovered the basic plot of the female pornographic literary product. So basically what happened was that a innocent, well-meaning, and attractive young woman encounters a male who's a bit of a monster. An attractive young woman encounters a male who's a bit of a monster. And the monster, there's 5 types of classic male monster. For all you males who want to know, this is what you can become. Vampire, that's a good one. Werewolf, billionaire, pirate, and surgeon. But I mean, so there's predatory dominance that's implicit in that, right? But there's this desire for aggression that's in that, a real aggression. But the basic plot is that the woman encounters this mysterious and aggressive male and tames him. An attractive young woman encounters a male who's a bit of a monster and tames him. That's the female hero myth, as far as I can tell. It's Beauty and the Beast.
Someone here? I'm looking for my father. Papa!
How did you find me?
Oh, your hands are like ice. We have to get you out of there.
Belle, I want you to leave this place.
Who's done this to you?
No time to explain. You must go, now.
I won't leave you.
What are you doing here?
Who's there? Who are you?
The master of this castle.
I've come for my father. Please, let him out. Can't you see he's sick?
And he shouldn't have trespassed here.
But he could die. Please, I'll do anything.
There's nothing you can do. He's my prisoner.
Oh, there must be some way I can... Wait! Take me instead.
Well, there's no fun in taming someone who's already tame. And what makes you think you really want someone who's tame anyways? There's no interest in that. Plus, when chaos manifests itself, what makes you think that someone tame is going to be good for anything? And it's a real question, and so that aggression is absolutely vital, it's absolutely necessary. But because it's incredibly dangerous, which of course it has to be civilized. And so what happens is that the archetypal female in these pornographic romances seduces and tames the aggressive male. And that's her encounter with chaos.
I was dreaming of you so tight. I was dreaming of you so tight. I was dreaming of you so tight. I was dreaming.
You can look at Sleeping Beauty, for example. Sleeping Beauty is rescued by a prince. And you can think of that prince at two levels of analysis simultaneously. You can think about it as an actual male who plays that role, but you can also think about it as the exploratory, assertive, and courageous part of the feminine psyche that's necessary to bring unconsciousness up into consciousness.
I was dreaming of you so tight. I was dreaming of you so tight. I was dreaming of you.
The male personification of the unconscious in woman, the animus, exhibits both good and bad aspects, as does the anima in man.
I was dreaming of you.
But the animus does not so often appear in the form of an erotic fantasy or mood. It is more apt to take the form of a hidden, sacred conviction. When such a conviction is preached with a loud, insistent masculine voice, or imposed on others by means of brutal emotional scenes, the underlying masculinity in a woman is easily recognized.
You're saying you've done your research and women are unhappy dominating men.
I didn't say they were unhappy dominating men.
You're just saying that's the way it is.
Well, I'm not saying
But you're
anything.
saying basically it doesn't matter if women aren't getting to the top. You're saying, well, that's just a fact of
Not
life.
saying
Women
it
aren't
doesn't
necessarily
matter.
going to get to the top.
No, I'm not saying it doesn't matter either.
You're saying that we should organise our societies along the lines of the lobsters.
The lobster.
Millions of people died fighting the lobster. Tell us about the lobster.
However, even in a woman who is outwardly very feminine, the animus can be an equally hard, inexorable power. One may suddenly find oneself up against something in a woman that is obstinate, cold, and completely inaccessible.
I don't know what you mean by the question.
You're saying the lobsters have to sort of become men to succeed, but you're saying that makes them unhappy.
One can rarely contradict an animus opinion because it is usually right in a general way, yet it seldom seems to fit the individual situation. It is apt to be an opinion that seems reasonable, but beside the point. The father endows his daughter's animus with the special coloring of unarguable, incontestably true convictions, convictions that never include the personal reality of the woman herself, as she actually is. This is why the animus is sometimes, like the anima, a demon of death, a demon of death, a demon of death, a demon of death, a demon of death. The animus never believes in exceptions. He personifies a cocoon of dreamy thoughts, filled with desire and judgments about how things ought to be, which cut a woman off from the reality of life. In the depths of the woman's being, the animus whispers, "You are hopeless. What's the use of trying? There is no point in doing anything. Life will never change for the better." Unfortunately, whenever one of these personifications of the unconscious takes possession of our mind, it seems as if we ourselves are having such thoughts and feelings. One is really possessed by the figure from the unconscious. Only after the possession has fallen away does one realize with horror that one has said and done things diametrically opposed to one's real thoughts and feelings, that one has been the prey of an alien psychic factor. A vast number of myths and fairy tales tell of a prince turned by witchcraft into a wild animal or monster who is redeemed by the love of a girl, a process symbolizing the manner in which the animus becomes conscious. Very often, the heroine is not allowed to ask questions about her mysterious, unknown lover and husband, or she meets him only in the dark and may never look at him. The implication is that by blindly trusting and loving him, she will be able to redeem her bridegroom. But this never succeeds. She always breaks her promise, and finally finds her lover again only after a long, difficult quest and much suffering. The parallel in life is that the conscious attention a woman has to give to her animus problem takes much time and involves a lot of suffering. But if she realizes who and what her animus is and what he does to her, and if she faces these realities, instead of allowing herself to be possessed, her animus can turn into an invaluable inner companion who endows her with the masculine qualities of initiative, courage, objectivity, and spiritual wisdom. Like the anima, the animus does not merely consist of negative qualities such as brutality, recklessness, empty talk, and silent, obstinate, evil ideas. He too has a very positive and valuable side. He too can build a bridge to the self through his creative activity.
Are you happy here with me?
Yes.
What is it?
If only I could see my father again. Just for a moment. I miss him so much.
There is a way. This mirror will show you anything. Anything you wish to see.
I'd like to see my father, please. Papa! No. He's sick. He may be dying, and he's all alone.
Then you must go to him.
What did you say?
I release you. You're no longer my prisoner.
You mean I'm free?
Yes.
Oh, thank you. Hold on, Papa. I'm on my way.
Take it with you, so you'll always have a way to look back and remember me.
With butterflies every single time I gave you roses and kisses, you put me in the line. But then I turned into a beast, I started going wild. And now I'm sitting while I watch you walking down the aisle. White dresses and butterflies, my stomach turning. I try to manage my emotion, but my heart is burning. I stand slowly to get up so I can leave quick. But wait a second, I'm the one that you should be with. I turn around, I look at you, but then I see you stop. You turn around, I look at me, and then my heart drops. I'm looking deep into your eyes, and I just think you know I ain't the only one that never really let it go. You drop your flowers and run to the exit, tears falling. I quickly follow you outside while the rain's storming. I grab your wrist and then I ask you why you didn't stay. You look me deep into the eyes and then I heard you say,
Panic even felt that somebody passed unexpectedly. Panic even felt that somebody passed unexpectedly.
We are to be remade. All the rabbit in us is to disappear. The worried, conscientious, ethical rabbit, as well as the cowardly and sensual rabbit. We shall bleed and squeal as the handfuls of fur come out. And then, surprisingly, we shall find underneath it all a thing we have never yet imagined. A real man, an ageless God, a son of God, strong, radiant, wise, beautiful, and drenched in joy.
So she gets tougher. She gets by facing what she fears. And what she finds out is there's a hell of a lot more to her than she thought. It's with our fantasy that we first meet the unknown, right? Bloody right, the world is dangerous. It's terrifying. And sometimes people they realize that, and the veil lifts, and they see horror everywhere. They see that, and then they think, well, I'm just a little rabbit. I'm over here in the corner. I can't move. I'm petrified. And then they can't move. They hide at home. They cower at home because everything has become a predatory domain. And so what you teach them is you're not as much of a rabbit as you think. And part of that is that you help them grow some teeth. And it happens very frequently with agoraphobic clients that you get them so they can go on the damn elevator and they can go on the subway and they can take a taxi and maybe they learn to drive. Wow, they get some autonomy and then they're a little tougher and so then they can stand up for themselves and they go back and their husband might not be very happy with any of this. He might be just perfectly happy that he's married to someone who, is afraid of her own shadow because then she won't ever leave. And so that's a nasty little story, and believe me, it's not uncommon. Okay, you got a bunch of problems, and they're like massive dragons, and you're just like, you're not going anywhere with those problems. You're just cowering in the corner. So you take the problem apart, and then you think, okay, well, how could we progress a little bit this week? And some of that is to practice facing things you're afraid of. So like if you're agoraphobic and you can't get on an elevator, you can't get on a taxi, and you can't stand up to your husband, and I'm saying husband because most agoraphobics are women, most of them are middle-aged women, and most of them were too dependent for most of their life. So that's a monster. It's like society, husband, elevator, taxi, subway. It's a monster, and it's that place you will not go. And that's because you feel this high and everything else looks this big. So she gets tougher. By facing what she fears. And what she finds out is there's a hell of a lot more to her than she thought. And that's really what happens when you do behavior therapy with someone who's agoraphobic. It isn't really that they get less afraid, it's that they get braver. That's way different. It's because brave is alert and able to cope. Naive is there's no danger. It's like, oh yeah, right, there's no danger. Jesus, what a stupid theory that is. So anyways, that's what all this is. That's the story, man, and it's a major story. It's the story of human transformation and growth. It's the evolution of mankind. It's a major story.